Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of the MSA Podcast, the special episode 2.0. In this episode, we come together as the MSA Podcast team for a second group recording.
This is your chance to get to know the people that are behind the scenes of your favorite episodes. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into the episode. We hope you enjoy it.
So hello everyone, how are you guys?
Doing amazing.
So, welcome back to another episode of the MSA Podcast. But today's episode is actually not just like any other episodes that we've ever done. It's a special episode. And if you're asking why, it's because today's episode is all about us, the MSA Podcast team. So for our 10th episode, we did a similar one where we brought our audience a behind-the-scene look at our team. However, for this episode, our 20th, it's different. And why is that? It's because we have a lot of new people and a lot of new voices to our team, new additions. So without further ado, let me start by introducing the team. Let's first start with the voices that probably sound most familiar to you, our hosts. We have the voice of our very recent episode, or one of our very recent episodes, the one whose stories always seem to keep us entertained, and our only guy host actually, Abdullah Al-Taibi. However, unfortunately, he could not be with us today. Now, moving on to one of our youngest members, a voice you won't forget because of her accent, Tala Fallata.
Hi, guys. I'm excited. Yay.
And one of our very energetic hosts, Leiba Zahid.
Hello. Nice to meet you all.
And last but not least, we have a host who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. However, she always radiates every room she walks in, Sham Yasser. Shout out to Sham, genuinely. I would have loved if she could be here today. Now, moving on to the ones who carefully select each one of our guests, the scouts. Our first scout is a wise one that always meets us with a unique perspective on things, Janeva Smeh.
Hello, everyone.
And now we have a sweet one that's very creative and is a very kind soul, Rushdan Firdos.
Hi guys.
Our last scout is a fun and outgoing one, Mohab Shenish.
Hello, everyone.
Now moving on to the ones that put faces to our voices, our PR team. A very talkative and opinionated one, Lama Sibai.
Hi, guys.
The next one is a very bubbly designer, Jana Atif.
Hi guys.
Moving on to a very focused and goal-oriented member, Lotus Ma'roof, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. Yeah, we definitely miss you, Lotus. Now, to the one that makes all our edits to every single one of our episodes and keeps up with all our requests, our one and only chief producer, Maeen Aldamouni.
Hi everyone.
Wow, you guys, round of applause to Maeen. Last but not least, the one with all the creative ideas, my personal backbone, the one that brings this team to life, my co-head, Alzahraa Alkatmah.
Salam, everyone.
As for me, some of you might have heard my voice before as I hosted the very first special episode. I am Meral, Alzayer, the head of the MSA Podcast. So, after this introduction, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys excited?
Yes, we're pretty excited.
I think we can now move on to a more fun part, and I'll hand over the mic to Zahra.
All right. Before I start, I need to give credit where credit's due, especially since Meral won't say it herself. Meral is the mastermind and the maestro behind everything you see and hear. She is very hardworking and determined, and I'm sure we all here acknowledge that and appreciate it so much. So yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Round of applause again for Meral.
Of course. Alright, now let's start with a fun icebreaker and get this episode started with a quick round of who's most likely to. We've got all 10 of us here, somehow, and we're about to call each other out in the most loving, slightly unhinged way possible. Alright, first one. Who's most likely to fall asleep mid-lecture and deny
Leiba.
it before the question ends? Wow.
When have you ever attended class with me?
Never. You just, I don't know. I have a feeling. Tell me if
Okay.
I'm right.
I hate how right this is. I actually have a funny story. Back in third year, so whoever's not in third year yet, and whoever's in third year, who's past third year, would know that third year lectures go from 8 to 5, non-stop, no break. So we have block lectures and then we have like parallel lectures. And I had just come back from spring break.
Also,
and
third
during-
year's lectures are the ones that I slept the most in, I feel
They
like.
are so long and tedious and they never end. They're never ending. And I just came back from spring break mid third year and I had attended a wedding. And if any of you know, like Daisy weddings last a whole
Oh my
week.
God,
So I
yeah.
was exhausted. And I came back and I think it was forensics or something. Actually amazing lectures, by the
I
way.
love
The doctor's
forensics too.
the
It's
doctor's
so interesting.
amazing.
I love forensics, like, but what are you talking
He
about?
was the best. So he
I love him.
he's
I
not
love
the
the
reason why I
doctor. I
felt
love the
like-
lectures.
he's
The topics
amazing.
were so nice.
He was the best. And then but just because I was so exhausted, I was sitting in class and I was remembering how peaceful I was sleeping in the flight like 2 days ago, and I remember putting on my like noise canceling headphones in, and I just went on YouTube and I played like ambient airplane sounds, and I
Oh
fell
my
asleep like
God.
sitting, and I woke up and I could not remember how I came from the flight to the class because
Wow.
I just felt like I was in my flight again. But I've done that and I don't deny it.
Wow.
One of the best naps I've ever had.
I'll say myself, honestly, because I did it and I deny it. Like, my life depends on it. One time I slept, I remember, I think it was Lemma sitting in front of me. Like, I wrote under me. I was sleeping, and after the lecture, I was taking the attendance. And then Lemma was like, "Did you just sleep the whole lecture?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I was just visualizing what the doctor was saying."
And Jenna wakes up and she goes goes back to her original position like nothing changed, but her eyes, like you could see it in her eyes, you know, when people sleep and like it just they look like they just woke up. She's like, "No, absolutely not. I deny everything. Shut up." And then she leaves.
This is so funny. I feel like that's all of us, especially when it was COVID era and Zoom meetings and so. I'm pretty sure we all slept through like at least a whole entire meeting.
The whole entire day.
A whole entire yeah.
True.
No, we woke up to switch to different classes.
That's true. Okay, next up. Who is most likely to show up to the wrong rotation and just confidently stay there?
Maeen.
Maeen.
صراحة Maeen does give the vibe, and like, I don't know how to say it, like, it's not mean, but like Maeen just gives the vibe that he's, you know, confidently walks into class, looks around. Yeah, no, like Maeen would walk
and things
into
just
like
work for him.
100%. Like, he would walk into like a morning report as like a fourth year medical student with all the residents and like look around and sit on the table. Out of 10. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it happened once, by the way. So yeah,
Tell
I
us the
remember.
story.
Yeah, I remember it was neuro rotation. So I'm known to like neuroscience and neuro in general. So I remember we had an SGD, and I came a little late, صراحة. And the doctor was like, the moment I walked in, and I came, and I had to walk, let's say, like a couple of steps. And the moment I opened the door, I came in, the doctor was like asking like a question. I don't remember. It was like treatment of encephalitis or something. So that's the moment I opened the door. Okay, I walk in, walk a little step. I hear the full question. And after I put my bag and sit, be like, okay, it's acyclovir, right? And the doctor looks at me like, okay, good thing you answered, because if you haven't, I would have put you absent.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Close one. All right. Now to my personal favorite. Who's most likely to pretend they heard the heart murmur when they didn't?
To be honest, I do think that is me. Like, to be honest, I'm not going to say, I always just say 120 over 80. No odd sounds, no heart murmurs. Like, one time I do have a funny story. I did go to an isolated patient who was, I think, like a cardiac patient or something. I forgot. But I genuinely said, no added sounds. And the patient probably had heart failure or something.
Honestly, the thing is, you all say it. I think in clerkship, we will all say it, especially like if the consultant is with you, you're rounding, and the consultant asking you, and you know he's like a strict consultant. He's asking you like, does this patient have a murmur? You can't say, I don't know. So you'll get scared. So you might, throw something and hope it sticks.
Yeah, also like you pick it like, doctor, I think I hear something, but like I can't really quite. Can
Exactly.
you like show me exactly where it is? Or
No.
it's always it's
Yeah, the best thing is to do is just be like, doctor, I'm so interested. Can you teach me? Can you walk me through this? And then just as soon as you show interest, they forget that you were totally bluffing around before.
yeah, definitely. I also hate when they ask me in front of the patient.
Oh, yes.
I don't want to look dumb in front of the patient. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, do you hear it? And then they go like, no, you're doing it wrong. Or like, do the physical exam. He goes like, no, Adi. Or like, I genuinely had one patient who was very spastic, who couldn't move. And then the doctor was like, no, it's okay. You can move her. You can move her. I'm like, I don't want to hurt the patient. Like, it's my first time doing the physical examination on a patient who's that spastic. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, it's okay. It's okay. And the mom is sitting there. Like, obviously, like with patients, especially in pediatrics, the parents do not want you to be like with the children. You know what I'm
Toying with
saying?
them.
So, you know, doctors can be a...
We've actually had a patient in internal medicine. I'm not sure if it was cardio or pulmo, where the patient, you know, we were all doing physical exam, and by the third student, the patient was like, I get that I said that you guys can practice on me, but I'm not like a doll or something. Like, she got really upset. She was an elder woman, and she was like, you guys are making me feel as if something's wrong with me. And like, I get it if maybe it was one trainee, because the doctor did not specify students, because I think we were like, there was also an intern and residents with us, and we were like a big team. And I usually feel this whenever we walk in as a big team, the patients, they kind of freak out. They're like, what's wrong with me? Why are so many people checking the same thing and no one can still find out what's wrong with me? So there's always like different experiences with patients. It's very like personal to them.
Definitely. You remind me of the very first patient I had. I was doing internal medicine, 4th year, and I was doing renal. And I was like, it was my very first patient. She was such a sweet lady, and she was like in her 80s, and she had end-stage renal disease. Okay, and so we had to explain to her, like, obviously she knew, but we just had questions about like that we're learning the different types of dialysis, like hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and all of that. And we were generally like asking her questions of that, but you could tell that no one has given her this much wujh. You know what I mean? We sat with her for over 20 minutes, and she cried, and she was so sweet, and she like genuinely thanked us for being there and listening to her. And she was like, if you guys can learn from me, like, inshallah, this is ajr and whatnot. And it was such a
so
cute, like,
sweet.
it was such a sweet situation.
Feels good when you're like a medical student. You feel like you're useless صراحة, but then see like a patient, he felt that you helped him and stuff. Feels good.
Yeah,
Because usually medical students, you feel like you don't help a lot. Like when you write a note, the resident writes it again. When you take physical exam, people take the physical exam
you
back
get to write
again.
notes.
And it feels bad. So صراحة, like, see, you help the patient there. That's a good thing in
Especially
4th year.
doctors are way too busy to be like spending that quality like time with the patients. So like you get to do that, and I feel like the older, like the more experience you get, the more doctors like, cause they get used to it. It's like it becomes secondhand to them. They don't talk to patients and like give them emotional support and show sympathy, but like you just learned it in pro like 2 weeks ago, so you implement it, and it's like, so you know what I mean. I definitely do think it makes a difference, and inshallah I don't want to ever lose that in the future.
Yeah.
You know.
As a third
Inshallah.
year, all I can say is I can't wait for 4th year.
You should be so excited for 4th year.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that, you know, following up with what Meral was saying about talking to the patient, especially if you're from the place where the patient is and they feel like they can relate, it's such a huge game changer for them. Like I remember in Shumaisi Hospital, KSMC, my first Pakistani patient that I ever saw, and I took history in Urdu, that patient himself was so excited to have someone to relate to and speak to in his own native language. And for that specific, the consultant who was taking care of the patient, he did not have any non-Arabic speakers in his team. So yeah, as a student, the doctor was like, your history is incomplete, you should have included a lot more details. But you know, following up with the week, when we kept rounding again and again, I would see the patient, even if we were not assigned to that patient, just seeing the patient be like, I'm so excited to see you again, and so happy that I got to share, you got to listen to me, and you know, really just hear me out. It makes a huge difference for the patients, and I think that's why we're all here. We're here to just, you know, be as helpful to them and be, you know, give back to our community as much as possible.
I feel like as a second year, I see this so much. Like I see so many stories, but I've never seen anything like firsthand. But it's so sad the way that patients get treated. Like it doesn't feel like a life at some point. It doesn't feel like a life at some point. It feels like just another case and just another story and just another paragraph and just another
Like
checkbox.
a job.
Yeah, and there's no like, I really like hearing things like this because it shows that there's depth. Inshallah, you know, as medical students in the future, we'll learn to be more empathetic, even though I know it gets harder and harder over time, and it's harder to, you know, be that patient, because like it's crazy, honestly. But yeah, this made me kind of emotional.
Yeah. This is why it's so important to make sure you're not desensitized. No matter how many people might tell you, at some point you have to, you know, tap out emotionally. You can't always be emotional with all the patients, but to some extent you need to have some sort of empathy, or else anyone has the knowledge. Everyone goes through the same curriculum. Even, you know, at some point there's like AI clinics online and they can get their information from there.
Oh my God.
But if the main thing about the difference between a good and a bad doctor is empathy and how they treat their patients.
100% agree. Just like before we close, I want to add something to that. We did for internal medicine interest group. Just kidding. We did
Shout out to IMIT.
We did a talk with one of the residents, and we all want to know how to get accepted into residency. At the end of the day, we're all in med school. We all got, you know, we all came from a fairly high grade background to be here. You know what I mean? And they said that the chief residents always look for, you can always teach someone, you can always teach a student the knowledge, but you can't teach them how to behave.
Absolutely.
So they always look for someone who shows respect, who knows how to talk to patient, who's, you know, confident around the area. You know what I mean? You can always teach him how to read an ECG, you know?
And saying a comment to the sensitivity and being desensitized, like being like having want to be a psychiatrist who wants to handle childhood trauma, I feel like that is really important, and I would not stop advocating for that. So yeah.
I totally see you as a psychiatrist.
Thank you.
Especially dealing with childhood trauma. Suits your personality.
I want to be a psychiatrist too. I go into medicine just to be that.
Okay, that's interesting. Mashallah.
Mashallah.
Who's most likely to become a TikTok doctor? And I'm not talking about the boring educational kind. I mean someone doing day in my life video in the cold room while eating leftover granola bars and so.
Sham 100%.
I was gonna say that.
If
Okay.
Sham was
Sham
here,
was here.
yeah.
I would choose her. I would say Sham. Why? Shout out to Sham. But if anyone knows Sham, they know that her dream is to open a YouTube channel one day. So that's very cool, صراحة. And yeah, Sham, we miss you.
I feel like Lama would do it as well.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that, Tala? Do you want to elaborate, or is it just point blank?
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say Zahra, just because I feel like she loves romanticizing her life, and she would totally do that. And I feel like she would put bows and like do the little stars and be like,
A day in my life. Today I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then
yeah, it's the dream. But like you would totally do it. Would it happen in real life? No, but you know.
I agree. I
You
feel
never
like
know, maybe it will.
Lama definitely on TikTok, Sham on Instagram.
Oh yeah. No, I see that.
I feel like Lama would be such a TikTok doctor in the best way possible. Genuinely, I feel like she would bring such positive energy like to the TikTok community and like have a different outlook
on medicine.
Outlook on medicine. And
She would start a doctor dance trend.
she would. And I feel like Sham would be a YouTuber, like a whole vlog, like 20-minute vlog of like, I had this patient. She would just talk. And
She'll
talk,
be driving
you know,
to work and she'll be like ranting about her day.
Yeah.
And then going to the gym, showing everyone.
Yeah.
Sham is such a gym rat too. So
Lama would have like 30 cats overlaid over like every video.
True.
I love cats. That's a fact about me.
True. No, love that. Okay, how about this one? Who's most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse? Definitely not Jenna.
That's true.
Zahra.
I completely disagree with that one. Zahra would be the first to die.
I second that. I second that motion.
So not true. I have the most amazing survival instincts. I don't think you do.
Always prepared.
You seem
That's
really
true.
stable.
I think Maeen, because I feel like Maeen knows how to, work with the minimal resources. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like he's smart like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, like he'd know how to make a fire. He gives Boy Scout vibes, you know.
Look, I think Zahra would survive, but if I had to pick one to live with, or like who I would depend on my life on, it would be Maeen.
Thank you guys for depending your life on me, like depending to edit the episodes. It's an honor.
All right. Who's most likely to show up to a party or a gathering in scrubs?
Jenna, Atif, 110%. That's
She has done that already.
I
and
did.
No shame in it. Obviously, super cool.
I was pretty shamed. Listen, I showed up one time we got invited to a party that was after university. We had we had lab, but I really wanted to go, so I just like, listen, I'll just go and be like a costume party with my scrubs and whatever. That was not how it went. Everyone noticed, and never again. Everyone was so bougie. Oh my god, it was a girls' party, of course.
But I see so many people doing this. Like after uni, people will go to the malls or to the cafes or
I
any
hate
place.
seeing them in their coats and
Yes,
scrubs
yes,
in
me too.
cafe.
Dr. Bota would definitely despise that.
Yeah.
But
There's a lawn
it happens.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a lawn. That's true.
You can't wear your scrubs or lab
Understandably so. Understandably.
Before I've done it before.
in public places.
But Jana Altaf, I respect the fact that you still went because it's about the experience more
That's
than it is about
true.
the like.
That's
At least you
true.
didn't miss out on the fun.
There was food, so it was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, on a wholesome note, who is most likely to keep the whole friend group sane during the finals week?
Jana
Jana Basme.
Basme. You just have that sort of like
I think
warmth
Rushdan.
around you.
I've always been told I'm like I give mom vibes.
You do give mom
You have
vibes.
such a warmth around you. Like you're like calming presence.
Don't worry, guys, I got you.
Yeah.
Finals are coming soon, actually. So.
I do think Rushdan just has
Oh yeah, I
such-
second that.
yeah, he has such a calm aura like about him.
I was just about to say Rujdan for the psych interest.
It's like Darwin. It's like Darwin from Gumball's Amazing Adventures or or whatever it was called.
Full
Except
legal
there's
name.
like only positivity and like there's a mood that he gets into when his eyes get super big, and this is what you remind me of actually.
Thank you. That means a
Is
lot.
that
Yeah.
the blue or the orange one?
The orange, the orange one. Yeah, the blue one's evil.
He is not.
No, yeah, it's important to be the glue at those moments. Yeah, and someone has to take that responsibility, and I don't mind it.
I do think that we all need someone like Rushdan. Like, could never be me. I'm always the one in the friend group who causes the what is it called? The chaos, the drama. I'm always tense during exam season.
The thing about me is that I like a week before the exam, I'm like, guys, everything is good. Not because like everything's actually good, but because it hasn't hit me yet. And then one day before, I'd be like, guys, I can't do medicine. I'm shaking. I need to leave now. So I wish I was that person, but I'm not. I highly respect you, Rushdan.
I'll second that, but I'll play the devil's advocate. I'm actually the one that makes people freak
Stressed?
out, but as a joke. But the problem is, I'm surrounded by med students. Everyone takes it seriously, man. Everyone takes it seriously. I'm like, I'm trying to like diffuse the situation. We're all stressed. We're all like, let's just joke a little, but people are stressed. People are too stressed to even understand a joke nowadays.
Can you give us an example, please?
Example, most recently, my last fifth year exam, I'm telling people that, I heard this doctor saying that, in clerkship, the lecturers are not included usually in the exam. But
I hate it. If you're one of those people that tell me that lecture is not included, obviously I'm not gonna study it. Why are you stressing me out for no reason?
yeah, so what I say is that, I heard this doctor is gonna bring questions from this lecture, and the lecture is like 200 slides. And I'm telling them, no, he's gonna bring like 5 questions. So imagine like you're digging 5 questions through 200 slides, and
No,
I-
man.
the thing is, the people that don't reply on the group, they don't ask, they just believe me, and then
That's just rage baiting.
yeah, and then they
You
start.
write
It
it-
happened once someone studied the lecture. I'm like, man, by the way, I was
You
kidding.
write it on the public group, not even to your
No,
friend group?
say it's like no, it's a subgroup. That's the subgroup. So like 5-6 people. But it just so happened that someone did actually study the lecture, and I'm like, man, I'm kidding. What do I do to you?
But I feel like every batch has this like just the person that wants to wreck like they need to seek chaos. They don't thrive in like peace. That's
I do thrive in
disgusting
chaos.
to
That's
them.
why I would thrive in a zombie apocalypse. Get it?
Love how we bring that up. Okay. Okay, let's get brutally honest here. Who is most likely to still not know the cranial nerves, but somehow pass neuro anyway?
Oh
I
my
think
God.
it's just like vibes and mnemonics.
That is a very good question. I feel like Lemma.
Absolutely not. I love neuro. No, you're wrong.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I think it's me because I just memorize it for like the day before, and like I make sure to like memorize it. And that's like, the mnemonics and like drawing or whatever. And then the day after the exam, I completely forget it.
Honestly, I sketched my way through cranial nerves.
You know what, Meral? I
What?
think I'm going to turn this on you and say it's you. And I think you were projecting, in fact.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
I
You know
agree.
what?
Oh,
I completely agree.
term.
You know what? I'm not cranial nerves, but I'm not gonna brag. You can ask my friends. I am the best mnemonic maker ever.
Can you
made-
give us an example?
I made. Okay. Okay, I'll give you my favorite one. I made this one third year.
Right.
It's about amidgerone, the drug. Okay. How can you remember it? Who can tell me what class drug it is? Class 3. Exactly. Thanks, Maeen. Okay. Why is it class 3? It's because I was in third year when I learned this, when I made this mnemonic. Okay. And amidgerone sounds like I am done. Okay. I'm so done. Amidgerone, I'm done. No, and I was in third year. I was so done with third year. And I was like, amidgerone, I'm so done. And I'll never forget that drug now.
So what's the related with class 3?
I was in third year.
Smart. I'll give you that.
Thanks, guys.
I like the passion you have towards the drug.
Exactly.
I think
No,
that's
genuinely love that drug.
awesome.
You'll know when you get to third year.
I feel like if you linked emotions and fear and anger to everything, then it'll just stick, you know?
No, I genuinely go. I'm so good at mnemonics. I'm not gonna brag, but I'm so good. I love
Okay.
it. I'm bragging. I'm bragging.
All right. Okay.
Can't relate.
Who's most likely to write a book one day?
I think it's Rushdan.
I want to write a book, Aslan. I've
Real?
always wanted to write a book.
Tell us more.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
I also think it's Rushdan. He's very creative, mashallah. I mean, like as our previous midtimes had.
Honestly, I'm gonna take it because I do have one in progress. Like I've been pulling.
You're
it
writing
for-
a book?
Yeah. I've been. Thank you. I've been pulling it for so long, but I'm gonna finish it one day, inshallah.
What is it about?
It's this fictional story about self-discovery, but yeah, so it's
I
fictional.
think we
birds
deserve
and-
the first copies.
Oh,
Yeah.
inshallah, the podcast gets the first copy. Yeah.
Give the audience an
I hope
insight.
this doesn't sound like I'm stealing your thunder, Rushdan, because I believe that if you write a book, it will be great. I've already done that, though.
Mashallah.
In high school. Yeah, a poetry book. Do you remember?
It's published in high school.
Yes, do you
yeah, I
remember?
remember. By the way, yeah, Jen and I went to the same high school. In Sharqiya.
So yeah.
I was gonna say Tala because I don't know why, but British people equal writing to me. So listen, take it as a compliment. I'm pretty sure your book is gonna be amazing.
British people equal fish and chips. What are you talking about?
Not equal books. Harry Potter, come on.
I
Yeah.
have never watched Harry Potter.
You're not. Are you actually serious?
I'm actually serious. No. I was not a TV kid. I was always outside.
But that was
But
my
then it was
first.
like sometimes in the television, you just see Harry Potter. But I would just watch the clip and I'd be
Look
like,
at the way she says it.
okay.
Harry Potter.
Mr. Potter.
She's literally coming out of Harry Potter, the movie.
No, I swear to God. Harry Potter.
I think
was
that's
my
a
first
generational
series
thing.
to
I think Harry Potter is out of date, maybe for some
read.
people.
No, it's never out of date. It's a
I don't know.
classic.
I think for some
Timeless.
people,
I feel like some people are obsessed, like they're gonna bite at me, like jump at me.
Yeah.
Everyone.
especially I think that's you British mostly. Yeah.
Okay. Who's most likely to pull an all-nighter, then sleep through the actual exam? I see this. In
I actually
all
did
the
this
time.
once.
I've napped
like,
in Mole 1 for like 20 minutes or something. Yeah.
Jenna
And that was my
Atif.
first all-nighter ever.
It is Jenna Atif because she has done that multiple times. She's so smart. This woman, she's so smart. She's like, I'm going to stay up the night so I can study, but then in the actual exam, I will actually sleep in it. And is there a point?
Yeah, actually, I did that 3 times in first year. I did that. Yeah, I remember the first exam I did it in was what was after FND? I forgot that. Yeah, CVP. I remember it was in PHA, and I was sitting in the back, and I was like, okay, I did like 15 questions, and I was starting to get tired. I'm like, I'll just nap for a bit. I napped, and when I woke up, there was like 15 minutes left in the exam.
That's insane.
No, the TA woke me up. She thought I was like passed out or something. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was just dreaming." I don't know. I don't remember anything. I ended up solving, and I did fine. I don't know.
Wow. To be honest, could never be me.
I have a feeling Mohab would do that as well.
Would you mind elaborating on that? Because actually, you know what? I just remembered. I napped for like 20 minutes in an exam once. That I just remembered that.
That's the normal for me.
No, I can never sleep in exams. You know why? I feel like the adrenaline or like my
Totally get you.
nervousness will keep me awake. I feel like after I go out and discuss the questions and on my way
Yes.
Yeah, on my ride back home, that's when I get tired.
No, literally me. Like even if I haven't slept for like 25 hours more, I'd still push through till the exam's done. That's when خلاص, sleep is getting in.
I feel like towards like reviewing my questions or something, that's when I get really exhausted and I just want to be done. But I've learned my lesson. Like in first year, I accidentally napped once, and after that, I was like, no. And the thing is, that was my first like all-nighter, and I was so exhausted for the exam. I was like, I'm not gonna have coffee because I want to go back home and nap. Like I was already prepared for the nap more so than the exam. But yeah, I learned my lesson. Over caffeinated for every exam, guys.
On a good note, that ExamSoft or Examplify, the software we use, it has a feature where if you don't press any buttons or you stay on an exam for too long, it pauses the exam for you, by the way. Yeah, but it gives a notice. It gives a warning that this thing was recorded in your thing, and it gives like a yellow screen or something, by the way. Because I
that happened to you before?
Yeah, it happened to me. I remember I went to the bathroom once for like 2 minutes, and I had to wait for someone to come back and stuff. So it took a long time. I was waiting there was like a line on the bathroom. Probably like caffeine stress makes you diuresis.
True.
Sorry for the medical knowledge. But yeah, like it's a good thing. It pauses the exam for you, but it records it. I remember when it happened to me. I'm not sure, but yeah.
For first year, I pulled an all-nighter for every exam I had.
What?
And I slept through every, oh my God. Not slept through, but like, you could visibly see me, like, my head, I was just going like this the whole exam, and I was trying.
Are you going like, can you describe that in words?
They can't see you.
My head was hitting the ground.
Hitting the desk.
My neck was flexing and my head was dropping. And I would like rapidly, raise my head, yeah.
Good. Very good description. Okay, last one. And it's a funny one too. Let's talk OSCEs. Who's most likely to call the standardized patient mom by accident? Mom. Sir.
Is it you?
Completely off of vibes, I'm gonna say Tala.
It's like when you're in school and you accidentally call your teacher mom. I feel like that would stress me out for the rest of the exam. Speaking of that, Tala, actually reminded me of a story that happened to me in maybe third or second year. I was in an OSCE, or like the professional skills exam. Okay. Yeah, they're called OSCEs. Anywho, so I was doing, this is going to be so embarrassing to say on the podcast. So I was doing an IV station, okay? And, it's like an actual needle and you have to stick it in this like fake arm that has fake blood. Anywho, so I accidentally poked myself with a needle.
Oh my God.
A needle stick injury, and I genuinely bled. And I had to stop my exam and I had to ask them to go get me like a plaster, and I was so embarrassed because that defies the whole point. And I just continued, you know what I mean? I gave the patient the same needle I poked myself with, and then I was like after that ended, like I genuinely, that put me in such a stressful that completely threw me off. And I asked the doctor, I was like, is it the first time this happens? And then she goes like, yeah, and it was so embarrassing. And then my second station, I had a CPR simulation station, okay? And my finger bled all over the thing, the mannequin, and like I had to, they had to stop it.
At some point they should have moved you as an SB.
I heard
you were an
so
active
many
one.
I heard so many OSCE stories, but yours is definitely standing out, yeah. Alright guys, if this game didn't make you feel attacked, you're most probably lying to yourself, not gonna lie.
So we just finished with the fun little activity, who's most likely, and then we're going into a second activity, the Q&A session. I'll be asking you guys a bunch of questions and you'll answer them. So the first question is, who is most likely to accidentally say something that ends up in the final edit?
Tala.
Me, because I control the final edit.
Okay.
That's so true.
Okay. Are you abusing the power?
I think Lemma.
But like, what does that mean in what context?
in what context are we talking about? Like, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
No, like someone saying hypothetically hip hip hooray and like in the middle of a
Hypothetically,
conversation.
of course, it's
Yes.
never happened.
Okay, so the second question is, who's most likely to cry during an emotional episode?
Meral.
That was so fast. Maeen, would you like to elaborate?
No.
That is low-key me.
I was about to say you look like a crier.
I am.
I will say me.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jenna's
I
pretty.
don't know.
You don't like bottle up your emotions. You let go of your emotions.
Aw,
Yeah,
And it's actually good because then you know
Yes.
how to communicate well
Alhamdulillah.
with people
True.
like that.
That's true.
Definitely, yeah. Whatever I'm feeling is gonna show on my face.
True. Not just that, but bottled emotions are so bad for you, for your physical health, mental health, everything, and then it bottles up so much, and accidentally you might lash out on someone that
Therapy session.
has nothing to do with it. So yeah,
Does our psychiatrist agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So, when I bottle up emotions, what I do is I go switch on a TV show or a movie and I cry and finish
that's
it up.
so nice. Yes, that's me. Oh my god, that's me with the Miserables. Do you guys know the show?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yes, it's a French show, but I watched it in Arabic on Space Tune. Like this was, yes, in Arabic. البؤساء, exactly. I watched it like when I was really, really young, and then every time I want a good cry, I just put it on, and I don't know how, but I managed to cry every single time.
A lot
It's
of
so
these shows,
sad.
by the way, they traumatized us as children.
Space
by the
Tune
way.
especially.
Yeah, Space Tune.
Everyone has a dead
Space
mother
Tune.
and a lost
Yeah,
father.
everyone has, yeah.
Everyone is poor.
Everyone's a maid.
No,
Everyone's working in
Genuinely. Sally,
Yes.
Remy, all
Yes.
these people.
And they're all like living in the streets.
Usually the end is nice,
True.
but you go through like
Trauma.
7 seasons of trauma till the
Exactly.
last episode makes sense.
But I
You
still
know
love
what?
it.
Space Tune is top tier, to be honest. Like,
Conan
Preach,
is
of
still
course.
12, by the way. Like 20 years later, and he's still a
Oh my
12-year-old. He
God.
hasn't grown up
I
yet.
don't know how that happens.
Oh no, عهد الأصدقاء روميو
Oh,
and Alfredo.
I
That
love,
would
love,
kill
love,
me.
love عهد الأصدقاء.
Oh.
Everything. Space Tune teaches you ethics.
no,
Like
but you know
how?
what? Space Tune is very good for children.
It is.
I feel like
I love it.
yes, it could be like traumatizing in that sense, but I don't like. I feel like it teaches.
teaches
it
so
has a
much.
lot of like moral
Teaches-
values.
Actually,
You
I
know
do
it
have a-
teaches.
Space Tune.
I do have a question. Is Space Tune like still alive or did it
Yes,
die?
It is
it
still
is for me.
alive.
It is
Okay.
for me.
Okay. Yeah, they have an application, but I'm wondering if the channel still exists.
I'm pretty sure it
Oh.
does. It is.
You're in Jenna, Space Tune are like the same thing.
Yeah, Tuyur Jannah was my childhood as well.
That's
But I don't think Tuyur Jannah is a thing anymore.
Space Tune.
By the way, like, you know where is it based in? It's
Where?
based in Damascus, Syria.
Yes, I know, of course.
Yes, sir.
Everyone,
Recently
every
moved out
singer-
to Dubai,
yes.
but it's going back
Every
to
singer-
its origin, its house.
Every voice actor or actress there is mostly based from Lake Syria.
Because I'm not an Arabic speaker, my moral teacher was Barbie.
Top tier. Barbie, I'm not gonna lie, I still do watch Barbie. Barbie Life in the Dream
Totally
House.
spice too, yeah.
Top tier.
Guys, I could
probably
talk
don't.
about cartoon shows forever.
Oh, do you know like Crazy Tracy with like the big head?
Yeah, I know that.
Actually, I feel like it's a very relevant question to this conversation, but what are everyone's favorite like sort of childhood shows?
Very good question. That is a very hard question.
Me mainly, of course, from Space Tune, like whatever Space Tune has to offer. I could talk about Space Tune for days. I
You know,
genuinely do
but
not
nothing
mind.
beats Space Tune songs, to be
Yes.
honest.
Oh, I have this memorized
love
at the back
them.
of my head.
I used to love, of course, عهد الأصدقاء and Robin Hood.
Robin Hood was nice.
My favorite show was this one show. I don't know if it existed or just in my memory, but it was Jackie Chan animated. It was so funny. It would come on
such a nice
it would come on MBC3, and me and my mom would sit down and watch it. And she's like, "Can you do a flip? Can you do like that?"
I'm like incredibly whitewashed.
Yeah,
So, and I lived in America, so I watched like PBS Kids. I don't know if anyone knows that. Yeah.
Isn't
no.
that like Elmo?
Huh?
Isn't that like
No,
Elmo?
it's not. It's like Space Tune, but it's American TV, and it's Wildcrats. I love Wildcrats. It's about two guys, and yeah, they turn into animals. And shout out to anyone who actually knows that.
I don't know
but
that.
yeah.
I lived in Germany, so I used to watch Kika.
Well, honestly,
Dutch.
Yeah, I know Deutsch.
honestly, shout out to animated Jackie Chan. I was going down like a rabbit hole with my friend like a few days ago, and we both remember that show existed. He had like coins that would give him superpowers. That was I don't know why that would happen. Yeah, shout out to Ben 10. I feel like that's a very
Ben 10.
honorable
Love Ben
mention.
10.
Danny Shabah.
Oh, Danny
Yes,
the Phantom.
yes.
Wow, the scream. Danny the Phantom. Okay, love that. Love
Sorry
that show.
for all the English speakers. Danny the Phantom.
Love everything. This is so nostalgic. Wow.
Anywho, so moving on to the other question. So who's most likely to start a side hustle mid-semester?
Me, because no, it's a work in progress, but I know how to do henna, and so and I know, and I've seen how like high in demand it is. So I was thinking, okay, cardboard box in the middle of uni. I have a little sign. I say henna for 10 riyals, and I'm like, okay, I can make this work because your girl needs that money. That's it. That's me.
Love that. So did you
love
actually
her
start
henna.
that as a business?
She does it for her friends.
Yeah, I do.
That's me.
I do it for my friends. I wish I made them pay me, but I don't have the heart.
I'm booking you from now for next Eid. Be ready.
Oh, great. Yeah, people have done.
You're
They're
the
like,
first customer here.
yeah, like I did it for an event, and a girl gave me I gave her a number for her wedding, and I was like, whoa, let's calm down. Let's
This is
slow
the
down.
birth of a business like we're seeing here right now.
Yeah, whoever's listening, just reach out to me.
We'll have the contacts down
It's
below.
very inspiring, actually.
Anywho, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A session and the game session of today's episode. And then the last but not least, we have a couple of comments and questions from our audience, actually. So like during the last week, we submitted a couple of questions.
Oh, we love our audience.
We do love our audience. Okay, so like last week we submitted a form where we gave the opportunity to our audience and friends and all of that to ask a couple of questions and suggestions and comments. So we'll be reading them out loud. So are you guys ready to go through them?
Absolutely.
The first question is, what is your guys' biggest accomplishment of 2025?
Okay, so in the start of the year, around January, I was invited to Thailand for an award recognizing my roles in this.
That was in Thailand?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
mashallah.
for my leadership
That's
roles
amazing.
in the university.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
So how did it reach the people in Thailand?
So it's an international organization. It's an international organization that hosts in different countries, and this time they were hosting it in Thailand. Yeah.
And you got recognized for the work that you did in uni?
Yeah, across the years for the leadership.
Wow, mashallah. And like, who's this organization? How did they know about it?
So the organization is Prime Awards. That's how they are recognized, and they saw my LinkedIn account and they were really impressed by that, and they reached out to me through my email, and they were like, "We are impressed by this account and we really want you to come."
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
So did someone nominate you or they found you?
Yeah, they found me.
Wow.
This is a sign for everyone to go work on their LinkedIn.
Right now.
It's literally what I was thinking right now. I have a friend who's been trying to get me to work on my LinkedIn for like all of last semester, and I just realized how important it is as a professional like online
But to
platform.
play devil's advocate on this, صراحة, I don't like people who are like overplay LinkedIn. Like, oh guys, here's my. I'm so glad. I'd like to share that I just finished dinner. I just finished dinner, man. I'm so happy of this achievement, or like I'm very glad to share that I just finished this thing, or
And they tag the doctor or like this amazing
Yes.
person that
like
they
it's a
had
good
dinner
thing to
with.
share. It's a good thing to keep it as a track of your like
Accomplishments.
real
Rishtan
accomplishments.
Actually looks
Yani.
mad for the first time in this entire time.
See, now I don't do that, so I just give it my the page
Thank
of my
you,
account.
Ishan.
Yeah.
I'm posting this podcast session on my LinkedIn.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was gonna do that too, by the way.
Link the podcast episode too.
I'll at you both too. Understand?
I don't have a LinkedIn. I feel like I should. Seeing everyone's like accomplishments on LinkedIn, I'm definitely gonna make a LinkedIn soon. I've been talking to my friends about it. Other than that, I was also gonna say like, mashallah, that's amazing. I was genuinely talking to my friends about this a couple days ago, saying that I feel like a lot of the work that I put in like university and extracurriculars and all of that, like, you know, at the end of the year, and like you feel like you're burnt out and all of that, you think about, is all of this actually like worth it? Is anyone like seeing my, you know what I mean, the amount of work I'm putting in, and like the accomplishments that we made, like with all the teams that, you know, we worked on, stuff like that. And that, like, after listening to Rishtan's story, you genuinely realize that you never know, like, if you enjoy doing the things that you're doing in university, keep doing them, because at the end of the day, maybe someone like international like committee will recognize you for doing the things that you're doing. And if not, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, the reward might be in some other way, like maybe it's just ajr and all of that, like you'd never know that you benefited someone else. So it's always good to like have a positive look on all the things, like يعني Allah ما يعني Allah دائما يعوض تعبكم, you know.
I think it's also important to advocate for yourself. So Rashdan like has some kind of public record where he shows the things he does. It's important to keep track of these things and have them somewhere where people can see them. And it doesn't have to be something that huge, but you know, have that kind of resource. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes you might do like this very small act of service towards someone, and it might stick with them throughout like their whole entire life. They'll remember it at any time. They'll pray for you. You'll make them smile. It's very nice.
I think I've done a lot of things this year, alhamdulillah. But I think it wasn't 2025, but it was December. And I think one of the biggest accomplishments I've ever done, in fact, was put on the hijab for the first time. And I think for everyone who's thinking of putting it on, this is your sign. You should do it. It's honestly, it just got better. If you think, oh, I'm going to look ugly with it, you're not. If you think it's hard, it'll get easier. If you think people remember, people won't. People will forget. So I think I'm really glad that I got an opportunity to say all this.
Lema used to always talk to me about this, and I'm generally very, very proud of her for doing that. It is a big step. Yeah, and you can't deny that. But
Yeah, and also like mashallah, Lama looks so beautiful with the hijab, and it just genuinely like made her.
Absolutely.
Thank you. But yeah, and it may not come as an accomplishment to some people, like all the beautiful women who wear it already. It just might have been like they should have, but it is an accomplishment for everyone who has ever done it. And you know, shout out to all of them, all the beautiful women on this earth.
And what I love about this is that it's an accomplishment you do every day. Every day you get up, you get out of the house and you decide to do it. Every day it's like renewing that accomplishment.
And you just put the hijab on, and that's ajr. You know,
That's
like
true. For whoever looks at you.
I want to speak about one of my accomplishments this year. Is I've always been an avid reader, and I just got into books again after a very long time this year, and I finished a book and almost a half. This other one is really big, so alhamdulillah, it feels so good to be back.
Me too. Oh my god, I just started my other accomplishment is going to the gym. I used to be such a gym rat like during high school or my last year in high school, but when university started, I completely stopped. Like I tried, but I actually could not do it. Like I book 3 months membership and it would only go 3 days, and then recently I just started actually forcing myself to go at least 3 times a week, which is tiny.
Discipline, not like
Exactly, it's all about discipline, which is something like I'm so proud of, and I hope I keep up, inshallah.
Inshallah. One thing I'd like to add also, like related to the gym, is for the past 6 months or so, I've been on a constant daily 10,000 step streak. And honestly, yes, it's been done wonders to my physical health, but the stuff it's done, the amazing work it has, the amazing effect it has had on my mental health is undeniable. Anytime I need to clear my head out, I'll go take a walk. Anytime I feel like I'm like in a study slump or I'm like feeling exhausted or whatever, I'll take a walk. And I've become so addicted to taking a walk where I feel like for like a while I can't just sit down. I need to get up and take my steps. And it's again like what Meral mentioned about Jannah, it takes commitment, it's dedication, and it also motivates me. Like if I can be as dedicated to my steps and my walking, then I can be dedicated to other stuff too. So it's nice that the dedication part like leaks into other parts of your life.
And it's all about like the mentality, I feel like, of it. Yeah.
You have to clap the loudest for yourself.
Honestly, for me this year, I've picked up public speaking as a hobby, which like for me at some point it was like, oh, like I have this thing that I need to present, and it was like terrifying. But now, like if there is an event where like, okay, like I go up and I speak in front of a bunch of people, I sign up to it because I want to do it and it's fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so scared of public speaking, like since forever. And then I saw this journal club thing from IO happening in uni every couple of weeks. They have a journal club, and I've always attended them since year 1, and I never of course a part of me always wanted to be the presenter, be on the other side of this theater, but I've never thought I'm actually doing this. And I thought I believe this is what always stopped me, because I'd always say one day, or I didn't have this much faith in me. But then this journal club, like not very long ago, I think it was in February, they posted it, and I was like, maybe this is the one, maybe this is my time to go be a presenter. And I genuinely pushed myself to go submit that link form. And alhamdulillah, I did end up getting it. They said I had an amazing interview.
Awesome.
Thank you. I loved doing it so much. Thank you. I felt, even though I was, like, the fear was still there, but I somehow was able to turn it into excitement. And I felt so, like, I felt like I genuinely can conquer the world after this, because nothing is, like, as scary as you might think it is.
It's like beating your own self in your mind.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
For me, it's like public speaking and all of that. I feel like I'm kind of shy in that aspect, and I wanted to push myself to, like, you know, be more confident on stage and stuff like that. Also, Ibrahim, she helped me. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember I attended that.
Yeah, and one of the other accomplishments I wanted to mention that I feel like a couple of us did here was joining the marathon. Actually, I've always wanted to do this. Obviously, I did not run the full marathon. I only did 4K. It is very little. However, it is a step to me. Like, I always wanted to, you know, we've been even talking about this as a podcast team. We always say we want to run together, and we've never done it. So we should start doing that.
Yeah.
And I feel like doing the 4K was one of the things that I said I wanted to do on New Year's, and one of the things that I accomplished doing, you know? And one of the things I also wanted to say was recognizing your own accomplishments is a good thing. Like, me and my friends did this thing where I gave them jars for New Year's. And on a weekly basis, I'd say jar day on, like, the group chat, where I want them to, like, write something they're proud of, something that made them happy throughout the week, or something, you know what I mean, a small accomplishment. And I feel like that's so nice to look back at the end of the year, to recognize that even small accomplishments are accomplishments. You know what I mean? The fact that, like, I don't know, dumb things, like, yeah, I did my laundry today. I helped my friend today. You know what I mean? Like, small accomplishments still count accomplishments. You don't, like, accomplishments are accomplishments to you, and they don't have to be so major for you to still be proud of them. Like, I feel like to have that mentality will make you have a positive outcome, or, like, have positive outlook in life.
If you don't celebrate the little moments in life, you'll never be able to be fully happy for the bigger moments.
Amen.
And
It's like you're always waiting for this very big milestone, but every day, everything you're doing is leading to that milestone. You have to celebrate this.
This circles back to Al Faisal's hustle culture once again, that doesn't celebrate anything unless you get the biggest CEO position in some big corporate job.
You have to really romanticize your life to enjoy it.
Yeah.
How do people get chosen for an episode? Who wants to answer that? I think the scouts should answer that.
Usually, from my experience, it's a tip from our friends, people older than us. Sometimes the heads would give us like names, and we would ask around and meet them, and then we decide on a recording time. And alhamdulillah, usually that method is successful.
Yeah, we usually like to share, like, interesting stories and stuff like that. So when we hear someone, like, did something nice, or, like, did something different than the usual, like, we like to go after those people.
We'd also sometimes listen to your guys' suggestions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, when you fill up the forms we send on email, or when we share suggestion box on Instagram, and yeah, it's always very nice.
Okay, then the second question is, what's your guys' favorite sport?
Oh my god, my favorite sport is weightlifting.
Wow,
I got into it like at think grade 11 or something. I went to the gym and I had a PT, like a private trainer, and she was obsessed. Like, she was a weightlifting, like, champion or whatever. She was Tunisian, I remember her. And I was training with her, and she would always make me do, like, weightlifting. All our exercises was centered around that. And then after I finished with her, like, an entire year, I started training by myself, and I kept doing it. And I almost signed up for a weightlifting championships for girls.
Wow.
But my dad was so against it. He was like, "You're not doing that. Your back is gonna break." And I'm like, "Okay."
Understandable.
But I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm pretty sure Sham Yasser would say the same thing if she was here. She is a weight.
Loves weightlifting, and if Abdullah was here, he would have said football.
I like volleyball صراحة. If you've ever seen,
I
know
love
why?
volleyball too.
Because if you've seen the professional people مثلا play volleyball,
yes.
these like Japanese clips
I love
of
it.
people like they do, you know, the volleyball.
Yes, haiku.
You know how they do, they have these amazing like shots and then saves and then shots and then saves.
I love it.
Man, it makes you like wanna play the sport a lot.
And the teamwork there is amazing. It's always amazing. It's like they have this like scheme or plan going on, and it's mashallah, it's very nice. I love volleyball.
I was actually going to say also volleyball, but volleyball or badminton, something I really love playing. And I know some of my friends are going to laugh at this because there are situations where I've played kind of bad, but it's something that I love playing for fun. It feels great.
I don't know if it's a Desi thing, but that's why badminton is my favorite sport as well. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Go ahead.
Sorry. I really like basketball, and I played in a tournament. They had a tournament this year, Al Faisal, and for the first time we actually won.
Congratulations!
Yeah. And it was like a whole like where they competed against like all of Saudi Arabia. Like it was a pretty big thing, and it was crazy.
Oh, it was
so
in
intense.
Jeddah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
It was
Mashallah.
awesome. It was really fun. But yeah, and I've been doing basketball for like a really long time of my life, like probably like for the last 8 years.
Oh,
something like
mashallah.
that. Yeah, and I prefer if I was better, but you know, like it's fine.
I feel like medicine gets in the way though.
Yeah, it does.
Like I used to play like basketball such a long time ago, like in middle school, like in the varsity team and whatnot. But my favorite sport would be football. Like I used to play football like in the my hometown team. However, I had to, I got injured. Then they always say that you got an injury, but I got a ligament tear in my pinky. That's all. Yeah.
You guys such a
I was thinking ACL.
Me too. I thought ACL like something debilitating.
Here I was worrying about your knee or your foot or your hip.
No, you guys are laughing, but that did change. Keep in mind, I'm a goalkeeper. Okay. So
redemption from Meral.
Okay, if you notice, my pinky is a bit like bent. Okay, compared to my other pinky. And that's why like it's still like it's not the same as it was before. However, after that, like I had like a couple of other things as well, and like with medicine, like university, I did have to stop playing football. Inshallah, I can go back to it. However, I'd like to mention that my favorite sport, like currently, other than football, obviously, it's tennis. I've been playing tennis for a while now, and it's so nice. I feel like tennis is. My mom was so happy when I started playing tennis because it's like the best sport, like medically proven for your like cardiovascular system. So it's so nice, and it's like it's so fun as well. Like you can play it duels, you can play it singles. It's such a vibe.
Yeah, tennis is actually like I think it's the one that raises your heart rate the most.
Wow.
Makes you
That's
run the
very nice.
most. So it is mostly medically proven to.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Tennis, by the way, also tennis is like how do they say this? This is a little controversial, but they say tennis is the top sport for because like a lot of sports like paddle or the one that Desi plays
Badminton.
More badminton. No, the other one, squash, the one that you hit on the wall. They all have branched from tennis. So tennis is like
that makes sense.
the OG sports, and like it's very hard. That's why they created easier versions.
Yeah, it's like when you start playing, you go like, wow, tennis is actually way harder than it looks, and it takes years for
But
people.
it's very good.
Yeah, it's very good. It takes
Really
years
wanna
to
try.
master tennis. It's so fun. Like me and my friend, we go and it's so fun. I was gonna say, speaking of a tennis story, I wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know if I told you this, but in the tennis academy that I used to go to, I changed now. Okay. Fun story. Guess who I actually saw in my tennis academy?
Who?
Matthew McConaughey.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it was in net tennis. Okay.
Is
So
it here in Saudi?
yeah, in Riyadh.
That's so cool.
The
So
worst part is that she didn't even recognize him.
I'm gonna tell you. No, don't say it like that.
Yes, that's true. I
Okay.
was so mad at her.
Who's Matthew McConaughey?
He's
Hello?
he's an actor.
The very famous actor. Yes.
Okay, so fun
100
fact.
other movies.
Fun fact, like I'll tell you the story how that happened. Okay, so I went to tennis. Me and my friend, we booked the tennis with a coach, and we were like, "Is that our coach?" And then she was like, "I was like, look, it's probably our coach." We booked a coach with a guy named Sam. Okay, and we thought he was like the Spanish guy because like all the tennis and paddle coaches are Spanish for some reason. Okay, so I was like. I was like, look, it's probably our tennis coach, and he was wearing glasses and he was kind of far, like a bit far. And then we kept like looking, and we were like, okay. So the next day we go, and then we go like, oh, that's not Sam. Like we found out Sam turned out to be this Tunisian guy who's called Sam, you know. We looked at him and we were like, okay, that's not Sam. And then on our way out, we kept on like, we were looking, like there was no one there except for me and my friend and like this other dude who was like practicing tennis. And then we looked at him like, we just made eye contact and then we just walked away. Like I just never in a million years would I have thought that Matthew was here, and he was wearing sunglasses too, and like he smiled at us and we just walked away. Yeah, I didn't process it, you know.
It was during the week of the
Joy
Joy
Awards,
Awards.
yeah.
And he was here for that. So he happened to be also at Meral's tennis
And it
practice.
turned out that he was there for Joy Awards, like Zahra just mentioned. And then he actually mentioned it later in an interview that he's been taking up tennis. And then how did we find out? My friend sent me a link, okay, where they actually posted him on their Instagram, apparently, that they, like on their social media, that it was him and Matthew McConaughey came, and it was such like a, you know, like accomplishment and honor that he chose our tennis academy to play in. And then we were like, oh my God, that's who the guy was that we saw.
That's actually insane. Oh my God.
And speaking of seeing another famous person, I saw Georgina, Ronaldo's wife, in my what is it called? I was doing what is it called? Pediatrics oncology in KFN and CCC. Oh yeah, she did visit. Yeah, and I saw her. Like I was telling my friend, let's go down to go get coffee, and she was so against the idea. She just wanted to, like, I'm not one of those people that stay in the classroom for breaks. I need to go out. Okay, so I went downstairs and I had to beg her to come with me. We went downstairs and we were like, what's this like? Why is there chaos in the what's this fuss about? Like, why is there chaos in the hospital? Like, why is everyone like whispering all that? So if you guys know KFNCCC, there's a cafe right next to the entrance. Okay, so so it's the only one. Okay, so we were there and I was like, whose black car is this? Like, you know, people were starting to go down. Like I see like security coming around it, and then I go down and then I see Georgina, and we were all in shock.
Speaking of meeting celebrities and famous people and so on, I've actually met Ahmed al-Shaqiri.
Wow.
I've met him. Yes, I've met him in the Jeddah airport. I was going to Umrah.
Wait, do you mean Ahmed al-Shaqiri?
Yes. But I said it because in a Syrian way. He's mashallah. He's a very, very, very influential guy. I respect him.
He as humble as
he is. He is, mashallah. I respect him so much, and I'm pretty sure I've been watching him for like the past 10 years, if not more. I'm pretty sure we've all been watching him. Their population. Yeah. And I saw him in Jeddah airport, as I said. I was going to Umrah, and he lives in Jeddah, so he was just like we literally were in the same airplane from Riyadh to Jeddah. And it was so nice. We took those pictures with him. We talked with him. It was so nice, mashallah.
Speaking of, I've also met another influential person. I told you guys the story last meeting, just so you guys know how interesting our meetings are. So I remember it was on a trip to the US, and so we take connection, like usually if you go to the US there's like connection. So on the last flight, I remember when it landed, we took a very long time, and so and I can see from my window that a lot of police cars are coming, and like police walk up to the same aisle I'm in, and they look me in the eyes. I'm like, am I in trouble? And then they look on my left, and they're like, oh, Mr. Prime Minister, like what are you doing here and stuff? And they walk him out, and it turns out like silly Greece Prime Minister. I remember, I forgot that it was some Central Europe, like either Greece or Georgia. Muhim. So he was flying economy, and he was sitting in the middle row flying economy, just talking with passengers. He was also nice enough to give me his Wi-Fi account for the airline.
Oh, mashallah. Speaking of meeting famous people in the airport, I actually met Joelle. Do you guys know Joelle?
Yes, we've watched her. I've watched her so many times when I was young.
So me and my friends were actually going to Paris, okay, for a...
So for context, she's an Arabic beauty show presenter.
Yeah, she's like a fashion icon, like as a beauty influencer, something like that. Anyway, so me and my friends were on our way to the airport, to Paris. We were in the airports of Dubai on our way to Paris because we were going there for an international MUN, okay? and then we were like, oh my God, is that Joelle? And we just saw her, and she was actually in a rush, but she was nice enough to take a picture with us. Nice to have that picture in 2017. But yeah.
Since we're all talking about this, I saw Tamer Husni once.
Where?
I was in Egypt, and he was
Obviously he'll be in
Yeah.
Egypt.
he came to our hotel because he had a wedding that he was gonna sing in, and then we saw him at the end of the party. We didn't even know he was there. We were just passing by like the lobby, and he happened to be there. And he wasn't giving us any attention, but my cousin screamed at the top of her lungs, "إحنا من السعودية!" and then he turned his head, looked us in the eye, and then came and took a picture with us. That's so funny. I know.
So the second question is, how do you guys make the episodes, and how is the process like?
I think
Maeen can
our
speak.
heads should like start, and then I'll talk about that.
All right. So usually, of course, as we just talked about scouting and suggestions, and so whenever we pick the guest of our next episode, we start by scouting them. So we have a meeting. The guest will have a meeting with the scouts. They'll sit and they'll talk about potential topics or very like special stories that they have or that they want to share. And from there we will go to like refining everything, choosing the topics and so on, and we'll choose
Yeah, and then the scout will write a document, we'll review it, and then we will get an idea of what the main topic is. Is it like a person episode per se? Like, are we going to talk about a lot of things, different things about that person, or are we going to talk about a specific topic about that person? After that's done, we'll send it to the hosts, and then the hosts will review it if they want to meet with the guests beforehand, and then the host will sit down to record the episode with the guest. They will break the ice, talk about different things. The host will obviously before that like write a small kind of, I wouldn't say a script, but a flow of the episode, because all our episodes are unscripted. And then when that's done, we'll send the episode to Maeen,
our chief producer. Maeen.
Producer, yeah, Maeen, and he will edit all of that.
So when the episode after is recorded, it goes to they send the head send it to me, and then we start with the editing process. So first what we do usually is that we do a first round where let's say I just join the parts, cut anything that is obvious, and then I send it to the heads, and then we listen to it, see if there is any additional cuts to be made, and then the second round we do voice editing and then quality checks and stuff.
Adding music and stuff like that.
Noise reduction, if there is anything that is tricky to remove, you remove it, and then we join the parts, intro, outro, middle, and so usually the trickiest part is
the editing.
Editing, in the sense of removing the things that are intercalating with the actual episode. If someone coughed, something that takes like half an hour, sometimes it's just removing a cough of a person who coughed, same time, the other person is like talking. So you need to figure out the wavelength when this person talked, and then after you figure out the wavelength, you try to remove it. It works, doesn't work, try other effects. Usually a process.
But generally speaking, editing that episode is usually what takes the most time of forming an episode and releasing one. And so
and then we usually release a teaser, and then we upload the episode in our podcasts, which include Deezer, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify,
Apple.
Pocket Cast, and etc.
Yeah. And so editing is way harder than it looks. I feel like that's the longest part, and people usually overlook it because it's a very behind the scenes. So thanks, Maeen. And good luck on editing this episode. It's so long. So best of luck to you. So moving on, this person is saying, everyone talks about success, but no one talks about the failures they experience. Why? How would a medical student stay motivated, or midway starts thinking, is this degree really worth it or worth the suffering?
So I don't know. I think Salaha, it's people like to focus on the success, maybe because, if you're down, if you're feeling down, you don't want someone to tell you like how they're feeling down too. You want someone to tell you, that they succeeded and how they succeeded, so that it gives you hope. So maybe what we can do is that we can bring like successful people, but we can talk about what their struggles were and how they overcame these struggles.
Actually, for our very very like recent episode, we have Saba come and talk about how she started this business and then how it failed, how she had this plan on going to this certain university, and just because she lost those 5 specific marks, that dream also failed. So which then made her go to this university, Al Faisal. And so this, I would say, this is like a good example of people talking about failures that then ended up being a success or so.
Yeah, and subhanAllah, يعني كل تأخيرة في أخيرة, like we say.
True.
And you know, subhanAllah, you never know when something that you think is happening bad to you is actually gonna lead you to somewhere good. So always, yani, try to keep your head up, try to stay motivated, you know, see the things that make you enjoy. And, you know, back to the conversation when we said that, okay, here in the university, sometimes people pressure you by doing peer yani comparison stuff. It's good to always stay in an environment that pushes you, but there's a balance between you know, giving yourself the space, but at the same time staying in an environment where it elevates you. You don't want to stay in an environment that
Stay the same.
pushes you down, but at the same time you don't want that pushing to break you.
Yeah, you also don't want to stay stagnant in one place. You want to keep growing. I agree with you. Also, I'd like to remind our listeners and everyone here that رب الخير لا يكتب إلا الخير. So,
Also, I feel like motivation is something that should come from inside, and that's where self-validation comes into play rather than you seeking validation from others.
Also, I do think that it's very, I like the way that this person said it, because I do think it's important to talk about failure in a sense of not to, like, talking about failure does not always have to be in a sense of like making the narrative about failure, like trying to promote it, but also to make things more relatable, to know that everyone fails in life in some sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like no one truly succeeds without having you know, obstacles on the way or stuff like that could be considered as failure. You know, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to look at it in the sense of you're failing in something if there's a small obstacle that's in your way, you know?
I also like to promote the idea of failing forward. Like every step back is a chance to learn. So it's actually, you know, it ends up being a win.
Exactly. And who would like to answer the second part of the question that said, how would a medical student stay motivated or midway starts thinking, is this degree really worth the suffering?
When I'm feeling demotivated or I'm thinking, is it really worth it? I think about how the fact I'm going to be a psychiatrist and I'm going to help one kid like smile, or maybe a person smile, and I think it's worth it. Because if I can make that one person's life worthwhile, then I feel like I did my purpose. And that's what motivates me.
I feel like another perspective on this, I don't want to say drop out, but suffering is a big word. And at the end of the day, I understand that all of us have our pressures. We pressure ourselves, our parents pressure us, but it should be like dully notice that you don't have to do this for the rest of your life if you think it's suffering. I think it's really stressful when people say, oh, I've come this far, but I can't drop out now, I'm so deep. But I'll give you a story. The first year that I came here, so like I was a first year, I wanted to do an MUN, and I met a fourth year, and she was in business, and she was so like smiley, and she was a ray of sunshine, like mashallah. And I talked to her, and she was like, I was actually a fourth year medical student. I was like, fourth year? Isn't it like that's the end of the road? Like you have your life figured out? And she's like, no, like I thought that too, but it's never too late. And I realized I didn't want to do that. And I think it's easier said than done to say, oh, just do what you want, because life isn't all like rainbows and sunshine and butterflies. But I think God will give you the strength, and sometimes he'll give you strength in other ways. Maybe he'll help you do your, like, work on your hobbies or work on yourself, or just to excel your life, because suffering is a big word. And inshallah, like, Rabbi will give us all like ease with our journeys, whether that be medicine or not. That's my thought.
That reminds me of a story of someone I know who was in his final year of engineering. I think he only had one semester left, but then he decided that he wanted to do medicine, and he switched. and he's doing amazing in medicine. He graduated top honors.
Oh, mashallah, that's
Mashallah,
amazing.
yeah. So, yeah. So I think it was. Yani, do you think if you put yourself in his shoes, do you think it had been easy? Do you think it was easy for him to make that decision?
No.
Absolutely not. I think his mom kicked him out of the house or something. So he had to fight, not any for a few hours, obviously not.
And then she called back. The dinner's
But
ready.
but I mean, it takes an immense amount of strength for someone to make that decision. But it's important to consider the possibilities, and there are always options. You can't say I don't have an option. There are always options.
And like Rushdan said, the motivation always has to come from inside. Like you have to know why you're doing it. The pressure can be from outside. Like at the end of the day, no one's ever there. There will be a moment where people will stop like pushing you. You have to do the things that you want. There isn't going to be always a person, like your mom is not always going to be there to go like do it because you should do it, or like your friends are not always going to be there to motivate you. Like you have to do the things that you want to do for your own reasons.
That's so well said. And I believe like anyone who has that external motivator, like alhamdulillah, our parents help us, but the people that just strive off of their parents' pressure, I feel like once you let go of that and once you isolate yourself from that, that's when you really know what you want. And I wish that upon all of us. And maybe you don't have to like isolate from your parents. That's not what I'm saying. But like give yourself space, because my parents aren't doctors. Neither one of them wanted me to go into medicine. And so every motivation comes from me. And so when you separate yourself from your family, from your friends, from everyone who has some kind of impact, just ask like, what do you want instead of what does everyone else want? Because people don't like recognize this. I'm not saying I'm wise and I'm all knowing. I recognize this in myself, but it's a good thing to point out.
I think you're your biggest enemy, but you're also your biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And it's important to remind yourself also to not let the fear of falling into the pressure and the stress that comes with whatever you're studying or whatever you're working on now prevent you from reaching that accomplishment.
I 100% agree. Also, adding to what Lama said, I feel like, yeah, you have a very unique outlook on it. Also, like, people whose parents are both doctors, like, my parents are both doctors, and alhamdulillah, I did choose medicine. But there are parents whose both parents are doctors who want their child to go into medicine, and their child does not want to go into medicine. You know what I mean? What if they want something else? And that is a different kind of pressure where you're like, but medicine's not for me. And I do think medicine is a very hard, major to be in, and you have to do it for the right reasons. Like, no one's going to push you through. Exactly. Yeah. Whatever major you're in, there are hardships in every single thing that you're going to do.
Sometimes it's not even studying. So, whoever is listening, sometimes it's not even studying or college. Sometimes it's a project, or sometimes it's an opportunity abroad, or sometimes it's a summer program, or whatever it is.
Exactly. So, like, you always have to do things that you want to do for yourself. Like, there isn't always going to be that, especially like going back into medicine. It's a big major, and it's like there's a lot of mental hardships. You know what I mean? Time that you're not going to be spent with your family and friends. Time that you're going to be spent studying. So you have to do it for yourself. And like, who's going to teach you those lectures other than yourself and your doctors? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do it. Like, a lot of karf and fatub, and if you don't do it for yourself, like, you can't for someone to go through all of that for what, you know?
Exactly. So basically, yani, this is hard. Like, you studying medicine or whatever major it is, and like pursuing that goal you have, it is hard. But it's also hard to not study any major, to not do anything, to not pursue your goal, sitting at home, not doing anything, just like, I don't know, wasting time is also hard. And it's always hard. You just have to choose your hard. If it is like, it's
I
like,
heard this before.
yes,
Honestly,
I love
very
this.
well
I love
said.
this so much. And going from there, it's also there's another quote that like comes from that. It's like, you either choose the hard choices and an easy life, or an easy choices and a hard life. So if you
Very
wake
nice.
up every day and you choose the hard choices, you want to go to uni, you want to attend everything, or you want to study hard, and you want to be at top of your class and so on. Later on in life, you will get an easy life, other than those maybe who chose to not go after their goal, maybe they belittled it or something, and they just sat every day in school and at home not doing anything. Maybe they like, it's not even only about education. It can be about working out. It can be about going after your hobbies, practicing your hobbies, anything like that. And so not choosing those easy choices every day will end up giving you a hard life later on.
Yeah, and I do think to like end this question, I do think it's important to not compare yourself to others in this sense, because comparing yourself to others could give you that mentality that, oh, I'm kind of far behind. This like all goes back to a lot of things that we keeps on repeating this episode. On a similar note, there's someone who said عطونا حلقة نصايح للجامعة الواحد كيف يتخطى السنة الأولى وخصوصا إلى الريبيترز.
I think that's a good idea. Maybe we can bring someone who did well and who was involved in helping students, and he can like give out his thoughts. That's a very good idea, and thank you for our audience for giving us ideas.
Yeah, as a scout, thank you for the idea. I'll definitely look into it. Coming soon, inshallah.
All right. On a lighter note, someone asked, will we get to see MSA Podcast growing into a video podcast? Honestly, we get this so much, and this is a goal of ours, inshallah. We are working towards it one day, inshallah. It's a very nice idea. I want this myself, and
yeah, and we're working on it. We're trying to like set up a constant theme, so with like LED backlighting and posters and the whole setup, inshallah.
Studio.
So you guys stay tuned, inshallah.
Yeah, we do think it would be nicer to start a video when we have like a setup that would be nice, that we could keep on like recording every single episode. It's not nice to like redo them. So inshallah, that's something we work on in the future and we'll do.
Another question we got is, perhaps it would be interesting to feature doctors and professors and not just students. And we did get this question before, again. However, of course, there's always a possibility for that. But circling back to our motto, which is students by students, our main focus and aim of these episodes are usually students, because those who do not have the light shine toward them, and those who have something to share, like a story or a perspective or a challenge or a journey or something. And yeah.
So that ends the question part. However, we did get a couple of like really nice comments. Person saying, I like you people. And then another person saying, please do sports episode, please do a sports episode. And we actually did one. We did an episode with Lashiz about jiu-jitsu. Another person said that awesome team, awesome people. I agree. I love my team. I think we have a really, really nice dynamic. And inshallah, you got to see what our meeting's like and how our dynamic is like from our episodes, or from like our, this episode. Yeah, behind the scenes. We did also get a question actually that I forgot to say, that someone said, why don't you open applications? I do want to, or like, why don't you open applications more often? I did want to talk about that a little bit more. So we are one of the very like smallest teams in the MSA. We are a very small team, and we've been kind of knowing each other for same like a long time. We kind of do stay in the team for years. However, it's because our job is very specific. First of all, it's very hard to look for people who are very good at like sound engineering and editing, or like someone who's very talented in hosting. That's one. Another point is it's very tight knit. Like, we don't have a lot of tasks. They're just very hard tasks, and bringing more people in would kind of just bring more people who wouldn't have a specific task to do. Even like, for example, some of our hosts didn't even have a chance to host. Some of our scouts didn't have a chance to actually scout, and so on. So it's just we've been kind of the same people doing the same job, and I think it makes the dynamic really nice. We get to know, it creates a family dynamic more than a work dynamic. So another comment says, it's quite engaging and interesting. Would be better if they had more relatable topics, or even share personal stories to inspire or motivate others. I do think we have a lot of stories about motivation and personal stories. I feel like a lot of our episodes are personal stories. However, I do think that maybe more relatable topics like the ones that were mentioned before about like failing and studies and all of that, we definitely can include. And inshallah, we will be sharing a lot of suggestion forms where you can drop down the things that you'd like to hear.
I think some of our earliest episodes have a lot of interesting stories. So I recommend our listeners to check them, like the first 5.
But again, if you don't want to go that early and far, our most recent one, if you haven't checked it out again, Saba's episode, she did talk about how a very relatable topic, in my opinion. She did talk about how she lives far away from her family. She does for uni. And I'm pretty sure I've met so many people who will relate to this. Her family lives in Jordan. She lives here in Saudi Arabia, and she's all alone. She doesn't have any relatives here or anything. And she came into Saudi Arabia with nothing, and then she made everything that she now has, like all the friends, all these experiences, everything. And mashallah, that was a very nice episode, and it is very relatable.
Yeah, mashallah. Also keep in mind that inshallah this is our 20th episode. That is a big accomplishment. However, inshallah this is only the start of our podcast career. Inshallah in the future, like more and more new people can carry it on. Inshallah with your suggestions we'll be able to grow the podcast more.
And if you have any suggestions, our email is open. If you have any suggestions for anyone, if you have a personal story you want to share or anything, feel free to share it.
And we'll add our email at the end, inshallah, of the episode.
Remember, this is by the students for the students.
Definitely.
All right. As much as I'm enjoying our time here, and I hope you all are, we need to wrap up this very special episode. We hope you had as much fun listening to this as we did chatting, playing games, and answering all your questions. And I want to say this is exactly how our meetings usually go when they extend for more than 5 hours. Right, guys? All right, everybody. Goodbye, and stay tuned for our upcoming episodes as we surely have more to share with you guys.
You'll be hearing from us soon.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. A special thanks from us, the heads of the MSA Podcast, Meral, Alzayer, and Alzahraa Alkatmah, to our podcast team for coming together to record this episode. Our scouts, Jana Basmeh, Rushdan Firdos, Muhab Shanash. Our hosts, Sham Yasser, Abdullah Atabi, Layba Zahid, Tala Fallata.
Our PR team, Lama Sbai, Jana Atif, and Lotus Maruf. And last but certainly not least, our chief producer, Maeen Aldamouni. And don't forget to share your stories and suggestions on our email, msa-podcast@alfaisal.edu. And we'll catch you guys in our next episode.